On November 19th, 1863, President Abraham Lincoln stepped onto the battlefield at Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, a field still haunted by the echoes of cannon fire and the cries of the fallen. In just 272 words, he delivered one of the most powerful speeches in American history. It was brief, it was humble, but it changed the course of the nation. This is the story of the Gettysburg Address, how it reframed the American experiment, shaped our government's ideals, and continues to influence the lives of everyday Americans. To understand the power of the Gettysburg Address, we first have to understand where the nation stood in 1863. The Civil War had raged for over 2 years. More than 50,000 men had just fallen at Gettysburg. More than 50,000 dead, wounded, captured, or missing in what would become the bloodiest battle of the war. The Union had won, but at a terrible cost. The war wasn't just about territory, it was about identity. Was the United States a collection of semi-sovereign states or a single nation? Could a republic built on liberty survive internal division? And crucially, would that republic include all people? When Lincoln arrived to dedicate the new National Cemetery at Gettysburg, he wasn't the main speaker. That honor went to Edward Everett, who spoke for over 2 hours. Lincoln followed up with just 10 sentences. But those 10 sentences would redefine what America stood for. You know the words. You might have had to memorize it in grade school. 77 years ago, our fathers brought forth on this continent a new nation, conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. Lincoln invoked the Declaration of Independence, not the Constitution. That was deliberate. The Constitution had, after all, allowed slavery, but the Declaration held a higher idea: equality. With that opening, Lincoln reframed the American Civil War not just as a fight to preserve the Union, but as a struggle to fulfill the nation's founding promise. Lincoln went even further. He said the war was a test, testing whether a nation so conceived or so dedicated can long endure. In other words, can democracy survive? Lincoln wasn't just talking to the people of 1863. No, he was laying the foundation for the nation's future. He said that this nation, under God, shall have a new birth of freedom, and that government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth. That closing line, of the people, by the people, for the people, It redefined the American government as something fundamentally democratic, responsible to its citizens, and committed to liberty. Before Gettysburg, the primary goal of the Union war effort was preservation, holding the states together, preserving the Union. But after Gettysburg, Lincoln elevated that cause. The war became about ending slavery and, more importantly, advancing equality for all. In the months following Gettysburg, Lincoln pushed forward the Emancipation Proclamation, which he had passed earlier that year in 1863, and laid the groundwork for the 13th Amendment. The war's purpose had changed from preserving Union to transforming it. The federal government began to take a more active role in ensuring civil rights and defining liberty, not just for some, but for all. But the Gettysburg Address isn't just a historical artifact. No, it still matters today, maybe more than ever. In schools across America, students memorize Lincoln's words. I know I had to in Mr. Hartman's 5th grade history class at Hanover Middle School. But it's not just for the poetry, but for their meaning. They remind us that democracy isn't automatic. It's a constant effort. Every time we vote, every time we speak out, every time we demand equal treatment under the law, we are part of that government of the people. The phrase, all men are created equal, continues to inspire movements for justice, civil rights, women's suffrage, LGBTQ equality, immigrant rights. The list goes on. Whether it's a civil rights leader quoting Lincoln on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial, or citizens today fighting for equality and representation, the Gettysburg Address remains a rallying cry. Lincoln didn't claim that America was perfect. Far from it. But he believed in the potential of the American idea and the responsibility of its citizens to pursue it. He reminded us that democracy is fragile, that equality is not a guarantee, and that the true honor to those who died at Gettysburg was not in ceremony, but in action. It is for us, the living, Lincoln said, to be dedicated here to the unfinished work which they who fought here have thus so far nobly advanced. The Gettysburg Address wasn't long, but it was transformative. It gave us a new lens to see our country, not just as a place on a map, but as an evolving idea. An idea that liberty and equality belong to everyone. That the government serves the people. That our democracy only lives as long as we are willing to defend it. So the next time you hear those words, of the people, by the people, for the people, remember, they aren't just Lincoln's, they're yours. From Gettysburg to today, the speech that once honored the dead now calls us, the living, to remember, to act, and to believe. Thank you guys so much for joining me today on Forward America. My name is Aaron Smith. As always, if you guys like the video, please remember to subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, and leave me a comment down below. What does Lincoln's Gettysburg Address mean to you? I will catch you on the next one.